Hello folks, welcome back to the IB90 Fishing Channel. I hope you're doing really well. Please, as always, don't forget to hit that subscribe button somewhere down below this video. That way you'll be kept in touch with all the news, all the reviews, all the fishing and all the other stuff that IB and I get up to in our little corner of YouTube. If you're a current sub, as ever, thank you very much for joining us again. It is a glorious day here. It is the last week of January. It's absolutely beautiful, blue skies, zephyr of a breeze, bit of warmth on the side of my face, and I've come out to fish the Trent to try and catch some pike, some perch and some chub. We're targeting these fish on lures. It is a stretch of river that I've fished before once, had one proper session here, and this is what happened. Right, I've fished for just over an hour in total now. To be honest, in the last hour basically nothing has happened. I've fished so much good looking water that hasn't shown me a fish or produced anything at all. I've been really surprised. Try and keep this a bit higher in the water. Fish, there we go, finally a take. God dearie me, it's taken long enough. Make sure, oh, it's off. I was just about to say, I just want to make sure I'm bent fully round on this. Oh no. Yep, and again. Right. Oh no, again. What is happening here? What is going on? That one felt like more of a nip than a proper take. I thought I had contact with him briefly. Oh, that's got a follower. Wow, that's got a big follower. That's a good fish. Is he still there? Lost him at the moment. Might have blown it here, guys. This looks good water. It's a lovely slack on the inside. This looks perfect. This is exactly the kind of stuff we've been looking for, and very similar water actually to where I just had those takes. I'll give this a good going over, that's for sure. Oh, there we go. Oh, how was that not stuck? Just grabbed the back end of it. How on earth he's managed to avoid the hooks, I don't know. Look, you can see there his bite marks right behind the hooks. Right. Oh, and again, what is happening? What is going on? I think that was the same fish. It looked very, very similar in size. I'm pretty sure that was the same fish. Jesus, that was close. Oh. Oh. Oh, there's a pike right below me. Where did you come from? It must have been a follow from a previous cast. I can see his fins going. He's clearly interested in it. Lost the fish at the moment. Yeah, I'll keep my eyes out for him, see if he comes back. Right, I've just put that goby shad back on. Not a whole lot of attention being paid to that more aggressive colour on that rattle trout, so maybe the colour there is a problem. So we'll go back to the goby shad. It's certainly the one that's getting the most attention out of all the baits I've thrown so far. Finally, is that one going to stick? That was right up against the edge. Will you stick? Come on, just stay on. Oh, got his head down. It was right up against the edge of that leaning tree, just where that little stream comes in. And we've got a fish in the net, finally, at the 5th attempt. Ah, oh, dear me, I was starting to wonder if that was going to happen. Well, after 5 decent takes and nothing in the net, it's just a relief to make one of them stick. Not a huge fish, ever so fat, really chunky fish. He's clearly been feeding well. A few leeches on him, which suggests they're fairly dormant. Decent scrap. I should be going home now. I'm going to give myself 15 more minutes. I reckon there's time for one more. Ready, bud? You ready? If you go the other way. Typical pike. There you go. Bit of freedom. Nice, sulky. Oh, finally. That's more relief than anything. I can't believe that's taken so long. 5 hits to finally make one of them stick. So I'm going to give myself another 5 minutes here, and I might just then have 5 minutes in the spot where I had the takes earlier, but I've got to get going because I am already half an hour late. I'm probably already in trouble. Oh, there we go. Speaking of takes. Oh no, he's off. It's a big fish as well. No. What is going on? Literally next cast. Why aren't these sticking? The hooks are absolutely razor sharp. Oh, follow, follow. Go on, go on, go on, go on. Has he got it? No. He went for it right at the edge and missed it. I think he'll eat that. If I can find him again, I think he'll eat that. So yeah, ever such a frustrating few hours that was. I literally had 2 hours to fish. It was Christmas Eve and I just couldn't make one stick. It was so annoying. Eventually managed to get one to stick in the end. It was probably the smallest fish I saw all day, but really frustrating. And one of the guys that fishes this, a chap called Ollie, came back to me and he was like, why don't you try and fish this with slightly smaller baits, because there's quite a lot of chub in here, there's quite a lot of perch in here, there's all sorts of stuff going on. If you're in a situation where you've got a venue expert who comes to you and says, why don't you try something different, probably try it because it's probably the way it's going to work. Because of that, I've bought 2 light rods with me. I've got a 7 foot 3 to 14 that's got 8 pound braid on there, and I've got an 8.5 foot and 8 foot 3 inch, I think it is, 12 to 35 gram rod, which gives me everything from very small stuff, 3 or 4 grams, right the way through to, if I need to, throw big heavy Texas weights, big heavy chebs, maybe some crankbaiting. I can cover most of my options. I've also covered the options with the lures. I've got a small bag with me, but it's absolutely chock full to the brim of absolutely everything you can think of. Everything from jig heads, spinners, shads, crankbaits, a couple of spoons in there. I can rig Carolina, I can rig Texas, I can rig cheb. Let's crack on, see if we can find ourselves some winter Trent lure fishing success. Let's go. Okay, so first hole of the day. I've got to be careful here because it's ever so shallow at the back. Gone for a nice straightforward presentation to start with, a T-tail on a 4 gram jig head, so 7 centimetre bait. I'm just going to pop this in and around this seam. I'm on the lighter of the 2 rods. We'll keep good contact with that, let it get down. We'll just twitch that back nice and slowly through that eddy. Try one a bit more down the inside. Keep contact with that as it drops. Where's the riverbed? Actually, that must be pretty shallow there because that's hit the deck much earlier. Yeah, there's a fish. There's a fish. That didn't take long. Nice deep hole like this. You'd expect there to be a fish in there. Just a little tap. Not sure what this is. Possibly a chub. Move up a little bit so I can net him in the slightly deeper water. Oh, don't want him going downstream off me. Oh, you're kidding me. That pretty much sums up how my lure fishing's been going for the last month or so, for goodness sake. Lesson number 1, have your unhooking mat out of the net and ready. Okay, little sneaky spot, only just upstream from where I was last, with a bit of a seam on the inside, a nice gravelly bank that goes across. It's little pockets like this that you kind of have to have a couple of flicks through this time of year. Those fish could have moved into those seams. Gone back to the shad, nice lightweight, to try and avoid the snags. Righty. Kept myself as low as possible. Obviously it's not ideal for this little part of the pool, but we'll try anyway. Don't want to move around too much. Now I'm stood up here, I'm going to stay here. You guys probably can't see a whole lot. No, I think the inside of this is probably done, but we'll have a look on the far side. A little bit shallow over there, but it drops off into this pool. Fish, there we go. There we go, whoa. Okay, so I'm definitely the wrong side of him. Let's see what happens here. It's the shorter rod, which could be awkward. feels a good fish. I've got ground literally falling away beneath my feet. It is a chub. It is a chub. Let's use the length of that rod. This is going to be interesting because my net's down here. Fish is caught around something at the moment. It's a reasonable fish. Righty, bit of a predicament here in that the fish is basically stuck looking directly up at me at the moment. If I lean down, you guys can probably see the fish and the bait. I'm putting a huge amount of faith in a tree here. I'm just going to keep some steady pressure to see if we can encourage this fish out of this snag. Have a bit of a poke around down here. Oh, he's still on, I can see him. He's definitely tangled around something. What do I do here? The fish is pretty much solid. The hook's still in his mouth. I obviously don't want to leave a bait in him. I'm putting way too much faith here in trees that I don't know. So hopefully you guys can see the fish just at the end of the, just at the end of the landing net handle there. As it is, I've got no way of landing that fish, and it seems like he's wrapped up enough that he can't move and I can't move him. Just give him 2 seconds, see if he can find his own way out. Yeah, he's out, he's out, he's out, he's out. No, you're not going back in there. You're not going back in there. Oh, goodness me, that water's fast. After all that, he's finally in the net. What an absolutely ridiculous scrap that was. I'm going to rest him, I'm going to rest me. That is ludicrous. Righty, off camera while I was getting the fish ready, it actually escaped the net. So we haven't recorded it, but that fish actually hit the net twice. Nearly lost the rod in the process. Get my hands nice and wet. Ooh, for a fish that was pretty knackered 30 seconds ago, he's not thrilled with being out. There we go, first fish of the day. Get rid of that leaf. Lovely Trent chub. That'll do us. Okay, right, I risked life and limb to get this fish in. I'm gonna have to do the same thing to get it back in the water. We trust in this tree. Don't try this at home, kids. He's been super strong on the bank. Just want to make sure that he's ready to go. Facing the right way. Bit of a kick then. Off he goes. Right, I'd like to say thank you very much to my assistant Ollie here for the help, because that was an absolute nightmare. Should we go and find somewhere it's a bit easy to land him, mate? Righty, creeping back down. I've actually turned back downstream and I've come back to the first spot. 2 changes here. First off, I've taken the unhook him out of the net. Lesson learned. Secondly, I've gone with that crayfish. Just something a bit different through here, slightly heavier. Different style of presentation, different style of bait. Can we eke another one out of this spot before I start moving downstream? Because it looks absolutely perfect for it. Fish it slightly slower. I'm just waiting for that thump. It's fishing really nicely. I feel like I've got the weight spot on here. It's not like fouling up and really clanging. It's moving through really well. Let's try that T-tail just for a couple of casts. Right, just switched over back to that T-tail that just caught the previous fish and got the take in here before. Let's just see if that profile makes a difference. There's the fish. There we go. Right, so it did make a difference. That fish is boring down. I reckon that's going to be another chub that I could really do without him getting into that fast water. Because once he's in there, it's going to be very tough. Fortunately, for the moment, he's played nice. Oh, he's off again. What is happening? I wonder if that was me moving position, as perhaps just move the hook a little bit. Dang it. I don't know. I don't know. Certainly the change of bait has worked there. Pop another couple of casts in. That's 2 fish I've lost from the same pool within about 25 minutes of each other. Okie doke. I'm going to work downstream a little bit. I've got a big heavy bend, but it's got a slack down the inside. I'm trying to keep as low as possible because I'm putting shadows over this already. Ping that down there. I'm just going to throw a little bit of line out just to give that a chance to drop. I'm still on that 4 gram head. And bounce this back up the river. I'm not expecting to feel much riverbed here because of how deep it is. But as long as I can get that down a little bit, I'm catching riverbed actually. As long as I can get that down a little bit, 3-4 feet, I think I'll be okay. Okay, a little switch. I've gone for a little crankbait, a little goby crank. Reason being is I just want to try and A, search a little bit more water, and B, just get down a little bit more against the flow of the river. So that's digging down nicely. Okay, I've just crept downstream and into shot a little bit. That wasn't my greatest piece of camera organising. Just let that swing round. I can feel the lures working because the rod's vibrating away. Just swing that round. Feels fishy, this does. Yeah, it might be a bit too active out there. I think in a straight line it's fine. Oh, well, there's a fish. Just as I was saying, it might be a bit too active. I got absolutely crushed. What's this? That might be a trout. Okay. Obviously, we're not targeting trout. I have a feeling from this distance that may well be a trout. Let's have a look. Get him in as quickly as possible if it is and get him straight back. I need to walk upstream slightly to grab my net. Fish is stuck at the moment, so I won't be going anyway, just for the time being. Get away from that edge. Get away from that edge. It's a brownie, unfortunately. So get him in. We'll get him sorted as quickly as possible. We'll get him back. There we go. Righty, so as I say, not the fish we're trying to catch. We've rested him for a few minutes, just like you would with any fish. He's got a little bit of damage on him actually. Looks like at some point a cormorant's had a peck. But he is super fresh, ready to go. Jeez, did he wallop that crankbait. Try not to handle him too much. There he goes. Sculpted off upstream, that's really cool. Well, of all the species of fish I was expecting to see today, that definitely wasn't one of them. In fact, I think that's probably my first Trent trout from memory. I don't think I've caught one out of the Trent before, so really interesting. Obviously not a fish we're targeting. We're here to catch, well, primarily we're here to catch pike and perch. We're finding a few chub, but definitely want to leave those trout alone. We didn't take him out of the water once. It's gone straight back in. He should be absolutely fine. This has gone pretty much how most of my lure fishing's gone for the last 12 months, to be quite honest. I've landed a fish I should have lost. I've lost 2 fish I should have landed. And I've caught a fish I shouldn't have caught. It's just how it goes these days. I don't know. I give up with lure fishing these days. I'm really disappointed to have lost 2 chub, particularly that first one, because that felt like a really good fish, just to a rookie error on my part. I mean, for goodness sake, just get everything ready before you make that first cast. I was too keen and I paid the price. Really nice to land one, a really good fish as well, a bit of a cluster in terms of getting it in the net, and as I say, while the cameras are off, it actually jumped out of the net and got back into the river, and I had to do it all over again. So again, bit of a nightmare, but we get there in the end. I've kept moving. I've come downstream. I've actually managed to get across the river. There's a bit of a bridge I can get across. I'm on the other bank in a really nice slack, and I'm really interested to bounce that T-tail around, maybe even the crayfish. I'm not going to ignore that crankbait, that's for sure. More of a summer technique for chub, but I'm not going to ignore it given the conditions overhead. And we're just going to give this another go. I've only been here an hour, guys. I've had 4 takes in an hour. So if I can keep going at this rate, we should be able to get a really good day out of this. Let's get back in the water and see if we can find some more. Righty, so we've had a bit of a move of spot. I did fish a couple of other spots on the way up here and didn't find anything going on, including the spot that I'd fished previously and lost 2 fish. Didn't manage another one, so I've moved on. I've come up to one of the areas that I found some pike in when I visited previously. Now, I'm trying to stay away from the edge here because I think as well as there being pike in this area, and there's every possibility there being a nice perch in here. What we've got is we've got a stream coming in from the left and joining the main river. And I just think this looks a really good spot for a big perch to hang out right underneath this inside bank. The other thing that's changed is I've had to take my bobble hat off because I was just way too hot. Trying to fish this as close to this bank as possible before I get any closer to it, just in case there's one down this edge. Got that little T-tail on. I'm not overthinking the rig too much here. Stick with the jig head. Trying to keep things as simple as possible. Okay, so this is a bit of a surprise, but we're not losing hope. I've made a bit of a bait change. I've put a cannibal shad on it. I'm not entirely sure what colour it is. I'm pretty sure this is one of the cannibal shads from like one of the multi-packs. So I don't even know if they sell this one separately. Oh, there's a follow, there's a follow, there's a follow. Come on, eat it, eat it. It's still following it, it's still behind it. Still behind it. It's just dropped down a little bit. I can't see him at the moment. I think he's still down there somewhere. Oh, yep, there he is. There he is, he's right on it. He's right on it, come on. You can see his mouth's going, he's tasting the water, he's trying to figure out what it is and what's going on. Where's he gone? Just lost him at the moment. Oh, I think that's a different fish. That's a slightly bigger fish. So I've got two fish in front of me looking at this now. Okay, here comes one of them. Oh, he kind of ducked out of the way of it. Where have you gone? Right, so both those fish have cleared off for the moment, but I'm not ruling out them A, still being down there, and B, being catchable fish. That is quite frustrating when you can see your lure 2 inches in front of a pike's nose. And it's just not going to commit. You can see it's not committed. Oh wow, what the hell? Where the hell did that come from? You stand and watch two fish absolutely uncommitted, no interest at all in feeding, and just as you start to give up, you get absolutely steam trained like that. Okay, well that came from that direction and it works, so we'll go with that. Got him that time. That was a much better take, much better take. No big slash or anything like that, just watched him totally inhale it. That was much more like the kind of take you're hoping for. No big slash or crazy stuff, just swiped in, totally inhaled it. That's what we want. It's a lot more likely to hit those. Looks like a reasonable fish. No monster, but he will definitely do us. Get him fighting that current coming down there. That'll do us, that'll do us. Oh, not quite, not quite. This time? Nope, not this time either. Plenty of energy. There we go, we're up. There we go, we get there in the end. Third time lucky and all that. There we go, finally managed to make one stick. Beautiful fish, not a Trent monster. I reckon there's bigger fish here. In fact, I've seen a bigger fish here. But given I've lost a few today, we'll take that. A real pretty one, really fat. There might be time for one more out of here as well. Let's get him back and have a look. Righty, I can't get into the water to get him back, but he is super fresh, so I'm just trying to get him over the lip of the net. They never quite figure this out. Come on, buddy. We can do this. We'll work it out between us. There he goes. Super fresh fish. Hopefully we've got enough light left for one more, because that was really cool. And that was the end of that, folks. And do you know what? I've been walking back to the car just now. I was like, it would be quite easy to be frustrated about the two decent fish that I lost. I think they were both good chub, but never really figured that one out. But I could be really frustrated about those two. But actually, it's the back end of January. It's been really cold. It's been a beautiful day. I've really enjoyed it out here. Yeah, we could have put a couple more fish in the net, but it could be a lot worse, couldn't it? We've come out, we've caught a few fish, we've seen a few fish. We've had enough action. I've only been in the water for just over 2 hours in total. I can't really complain too much. It could have been a lot worse. I was just saying to my buddy Ollie, actually thank you very much to Ollie for letting me fish his stretch of river again. That is very much appreciated. I was just saying to him, I must have been a major polluter of the River Trent in a previous life, because this river really beats me up. I'll have the odd good day, the odd glimmer of hope, but rest assured at some point it sits me right back on my arse again. And the last couple of sessions have kind of felt like that, maybe getting a little bit closer to cracking the code. I'm not really sure. I haven't quite fished it the way I thought I was going to. I had a mind today to fish quite a lot of creature baits and stuff like that, but actually getting those takes on the small shads early kind of settled me that that was going to be the way to go. So perhaps if I was going to go back, I could mix up the rig styles a little bit more. I've basically just jigged for the whole day. The thing is, for the first hour and a half, it worked really, really well. So I kind of stuck with it. Perhaps I could have been a bit more versatile, gone through the rigging options a bit more, but hey ho, it is what it is. Folks, I've no idea how this vlog is going to come out in the end. It's going to be a little bit of a hodgepodge, but I hope you guys have enjoyed it. It's been a beautiful day. I've really enjoyed coming out and filming this one. Guys, thank you very much for watching this vlog. Really appreciate it. If you've enjoyed it, don't forget to hit the like button. We appreciate that. And IB and I will see you guys again soon for some more fishing and stuff. Take care, folks. Bye bye.